So whenever we told people that we were going to be starting a church here, we were met with a lot of questions, a lot of opposition, and a ton of doubt. And I know for a fact that a lot of people expected us to fail and still expect us to fail. They don't think this thing is ever going to get off the ground. And that's totally fine, because the truth is, I don't need anyone's stamp of approval to do what God's called me to do. And it's a scary thing. It's a massive undertaking. But I think my friend Dylan put it best whenever he said that if God calls me to do something, I'm not afraid of how scary that thing is. I'm more afraid of what might happen if I don't obey God and I don't do what he's calling me to do. And I love that. And lately I've been reading in Nehemiah. It picks up where the Babylonian Empire has taken over Israel. The Israelites are exiled. They're scattered to all different parts of the world, and Jerusalem is in ruins. And Nehemiah, he's in a totally different country. He's working for the king there, and he starts to feel God call him back to Jerusalem, back to rebuild the wall and rebuild the city. And that's not an easy task. It's something that would take a long time to do, a very long time, a lot of people, a lot of resources. And you have to consider the fact that nobody other than the Jewish people, the Israelites, the people that wanted that city to be rebuilt because that was their home, no one else wanted to see that city rebuilt. No one else wanted to see that wall come back up. So you could imagine, like, people were mocking him. There was all kinds of opposition. People were trying to kill him, trying to trick him, trying to take him away from what he was doing so that they could harm him or kill him or keep him from completing this task. And once he started the project, there was even a time where he had to take literally half of the men that were working on this wall and remove them from building the wall and place them as guards to protect the rest of the builders because so many people wanted to stop this project. And that caused this whole process to take basically twice as long. But he didn't give up. He always kept his eye on what it was that God was calling him to do. And every step of the way, he was praying. He was covering the whole thing with prayer. The people, the workers, the builders, the resources, all of it. He was constantly praying that God would protect them and provide a way to do what it was that God had called them to do. And one of my favorite parts of this story is that the people were getting so discouraged. They didn't see an end in sight. It was taking so long. It seemed like they were starting to run out of resources. They were not having faith in God anymore, even to the point where they were starting to sell their children into slavery in order to pay their debts. And Nehemiah comes to him and he's like, stop. You need to put your trust in God again. You need to pray. You need to keep your focus in the right place. And then they started to remember all of the times that God had provided, all of the things that he had done, and they went through each individual thing, each individual account, and they spoke it out loud. And they thanked God, and they praised him, and they worshiped him for all the times when it seemed impossible, that he still made a way. He still provided for them, and still made good on the promises that he had made to them. And I love that because it's so easy to get so focused on the thing that's happening to us right now that we totally forget what God has called us to and the purpose that he has on our lives and the bigger picture. You have to cover everything with prayer. You have to pray about everything. Pray that God will provide because he's going to provide. I say this a lot, but God doesn't bring you this far to watch you fail. We've been met with so much opposition in the process of starting this church. People say that we're going to fail, that we're never going to make it, that we're not going to get this thing off the ground, that it's just a silly idea that we came up with. No, this is something that God has called us to do. And even whenever things happen like losing my brother, and even whenever people commit to being a part of this and then back out, even whenever my own family members say that it's a stupid dream and a terrible idea and it'll never work, I have to keep my eyes and my focus on God, and I have to pray, and I have to cover this whole thing with prayer and know that God is providing a way even whenever it seems impossible. Even when resources are low, even whenever things aren't going well seemingly, we still have to remember that this is the road that we're supposed to be on. This is the thing that we're supposed to be doing, and this is exactly where we're supposed to be. And I'm not gonna let fear dictate anything that I do. He's made a way so far. He will continue to make a way. And I will continue to go back and look at all the times where it seemed impossible, but God still provided. Whenever we were about to move up here, and I'm looking at the amount of money that we have in order to do this, and it doesn't seem possible, and then God comes through and provides. And so thank you to everybody who has supported us. And thank you for those who continue to support us in this process. It's not over. It's not even close to being over. We have actually just begun. This is only the beginning of what God is going to do here. Imagine being in the time with Nehemiah, watching the stones begin to be placed to rebuild this wall. And you're looking around and all you see is rubble. All you see are stones that are crushed in this wall that was destroyed in this city that is in ruins. Literally building something from nothing. And so here I am, standing here doing what God's called me to do, literally building something from nothing. And hearing the naysayers and the opposition come from all different sides, and knowing that God has called me to do this and saying I can't give up. There was even a time where the enemies of Nehemiah came to him and threatened him and said, we have a letter saying that the reason that you're building this wall again is so that you can rebel against the powers in this country now, so that you can rise up and take back authority. And there were all these rumors of these shadow missions of why he was doing what he was doing. And that was not the case. He was just simply doing what God had called him to do, which was build the wall. And so here we are. We're building the wall, slowly placing a stone on top of another stone, and just doing the things that God has called us to do. And it takes time, and it's slow, and it doesn't look like a lot's getting done. But every step forward is a step in the right direction. Every step forward is one more stone placed on that wall. And as long as we continue to put one foot in front of the other and continue to place one stone on top of the last one, we will succeed, and we will be able to accomplish the things that God has set us out to accomplish, because He's not going to let us fail. He's not going to call us to do this to watch us fail. I love saying that, and I say it a lot, but it's so true that anytime God calls you to do something, He will provide. Don't forget that. So I have a link below in the description to our website for our church. Please click on that link, show us some support. If you want to partner with us or be a part of what it is that we're doing, what God is calling us to do here in New York City, we'd love to have you. Let me know, send me a message, leave me a comment, get in touch with us. God is calling us to do crazy things, big things, and we would love for you to be a part of it with us. So thank you in advance for your support. Please share this video, like it, comment, subscribe. We have a lot to do and we need your help. So thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.